As you can tell by the title, it's not going to be such an exciting, happy video, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Just going to give it to you guys straight, tell you exactly like it is, and, you know, obviously what you do with that information, your judgments, but I think at the very end, the very least, we'll be asking for your prayers and hope, okay? And you'll see why. All right, so back to the beginning. So when I married Ruth, I was dating and married Ruth. We moved into, or I was living with my mother, and she moved in there as well. So we're living with my mother, right? You know, it was good times, bad times. I mean, like, for the most part, it worked out very well. Like, it was good. You know, there were some, like, arguments and clashes, of course.
Towards the end.
Towards the end, yeah. Not really the beginning. The first few years was great. And then after a while, it just got a little bit, you know, I mean, it is what it is. It's just, we're in each other's way, and obviously, it's just the way things were. I mean... Right. Regardless, we love each other very much. Yeah. It's just that we clashed a lot. So, the thing is with my mom is that she, her health hasn't always been the best. You know, she's got some issues, and every year she would usually develop, when the seasons change, she would develop bronchitis. Rarely it would turn to pneumonia, but sometimes it did. But in any case, it never really became more than that. She was antibiotic, it cleared up, and whatever. Yeah. But the problem was, like, you know, over the years, it got a little bit worse and worse.
Yeah.
So, fast forward to now today, and several weeks ago, you know, I went home to visit my mom. And, you know, it was very nice being with her and everything. She had a little cough, but she said it was the allergies, the change of seasons, whatever.
Which
you know,
she believes because it's normal.
Right, which I believed as well. And, you know, she was going out. This is, of course, during the whole coronavirus thing where you should stay in and everything. But, you know, she has to go to the market to buy food. You know what I mean? She did have to go out when she had to, but otherwise she was stayed inside. So, yeah, I didn't think anything of it. It was a nice meet and greet with my mother. It was really nice. Whatever. I left, and
you didn't hug her. You didn't.
Right. I stayed away. We didn't really touch anything. You know, like we kept all the guidelines going. You know. So, you know, I left, and, you know, she had gone out for a little bit, and, you know, during that time, I mean, before I went to visit her, I was under the weather, but I got better.
Yeah.
Summer was under the weather. Yeah, we were all under the weather, but we had gotten better.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't feel anything, so I figured, like, you know, it was fine. And, you know, she was going out, you know, a couple of my siblings went to visit her and everything, so, you know, it's not that she was home alone not doing anything. You know, she was doing a couple of things, but she was keeping it safe, right? Yeah. So, fast forward to last week, or this past week, and unfortunately, let me say this, like 10 days ago, she started feeling ill, and she thought it was just a bronchitis that she gets every year. She didn't think it was a big deal.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, go see the doctor, do what you gotta do. In any case, what happened was things got really bad to the point where she had really intense labored breathing. Like, it was very difficult for her to breathe. So, several days ago, we had to call an ambulance.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend, me, my siblings, you know, we're all in this, you know, we made sure she got to an ambulance. They took her to a hospital here on Long Island. So, you know, we're all very nervous and we're all kind of freaking out. We're like, all right, you know, a lot of her symptoms that she had described, that she had told the doctors and told us, like, it seemed like it could possibly be coronavirus, you know, COVID-19.
Yeah.
So, of course, we didn't want to rush any judgments or anything, but, you know, of course, the doctors, when she was in the facility, they had to take the test. You know, she was put on oxygen first, not a big deal, just to help her, you know, breathe, whatever. And then, unfortunately, the COVID-19 test came out positive.
Yeah.
And that really took a blow. Like, that hit me like a sledgehammer. I'm like, oh shit, because here this is the 72-year-old woman whom I dearly love. You know, she's my mother. She is like everything to me. Like, I love her so much and everything. And I was like, shit, this is not good.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, at first the extra oxygen they were giving her wasn't really working. She still had labored breathing. She was in respiratory distress, so they hooked her up to a CPAP machine. The oxygen was about for a little bit over a day, The CPAP was about a day. And then unfortunately, yesterday evening, her blood was not getting enough oxygen still. So we're going through the final phase of intubation.
Yeah.
So she's put on a ventilator. And, unfortunately we can't talk to her. She's heavily sedated.
Yeah.
She's on the ventilation. The last time we spoke with her was, I had called her when she was just on the oxygen.
Sorry.
Let me just take it. Alright, so this is it. This is the final hurdle. We got to get through this.
Yeah.
This is like the big thing. Like, she's heavily sedated, she's intubated, and, she's on a lot of drugs, medicines to get her through this.
And basically what the ventilation does is, obviously it takes over your body and your lungs, so it does the work for you, so you don't have to do it. So basically, at her age, it's taking a lot of energy for her to breathe in and breathe out and do whatever she needs to do to her body, and it's maybe wearing a toll on her, so they put her on that so it does the work for her.
Yeah, it does the work for her, because like the labored breathing, the stress that she had with the CPAP and the oxygen, she still had to consciously just keep breathing in and out, and it was difficult for her. But this one's doing the work for her, so it's relieving her like stress, and her muscles are able to relax a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, before that we were a little scared to put her on the ventilator because you hear the news, they have little,
only like 20% come off.
Exactly.
Or something. Yeah, and we're like really nervous with that and everything. But there's still a glimmer of hope. There's still hope. But I think ultimately what this is leading us to, everybody, is that, well, number one, the reason why I'm not crying right now is because I already cried. I cried for the past couple of days. It was pretty heavy. I'm going to cry a lot more, but I got it out of my system right now. I have high hopes. Basically what we need is your hope and prayers.
Yeah.
And this leads me back to the beginning of the video when I said I need your hope and prayers.
Yeah.
Guys, like, more than ever. Again, I know my mom's 72, but I feel like she has a few good years left in her.
She is a 72. She's a 72.
In like a 30-year-old body.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, she's just, a 30-year-old person in a 72-year-old body.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's,
Check out the cheating prank on mom. You understand.
Yeah,
we did a video on her a couple months ago. It's the cheating prank on mom or whatever on a channel. That's her right there. She's a good woman. But I think that this has really opened actually my eyes to be able to, I know one of the videos we did a few weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, I mentioned about, forgiveness or opening your heart for, being, forgiving others and also seeking forgiveness. And I think it opens my eyes to that more now, and I see it more now that when things like this happen, you just forget about everything else, and the most important thing is family. So, in the past we've had we've had really great times, but we had really some crazy arguments towards the end of our stay in our home, and that's what maybe probably pressured us into moving in here. And both of us could have handled things a little bit more better, and forever I was like, I'm not going to forgive, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to seek forgiveness, and I'm just done, I'm just over it. And I feel like this has allowed me to be able to say, the bigger picture, look at the bigger picture, and all, like, really it's so small compared to life and death. Like, so I think that this has basically made me open my eyes to saying, like, if she makes it out of this, and we know she's going to make it out of this, that it's time to kind of put everything behind us and repair our relationship for the sake, obviously, of my husband and my daughter, and just go back to how things are and rebuild again. And I think that's the thing I'm going to take from this.
Absolutely.
Right now.
Nothing. I would love that, to have my mother and my wife mend everything. I mean, again, they didn't hate each other, but
no.
They loved each other, but it was just like, it was a little bit argumentative.
Yeah, a lot of close quarters things. That's I mean, it was 7 long years, so obviously, duh.
Right. Anyway, so so that leaves us with this. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I just got the
hard
update.
part is waiting.
Yeah, the waiting. It's killer.
waiting
it's
is
just
a killer,
like just
especially just
waiting to hear
waiting.
updates, see what's going to happen. Hopefully, like, the medicine's going to work. Like,
Yeah. And you can't go to the hospital either, which just sucks, because I heard a lot of people, you know, what could have made this a little bit easier or better was to hear your family's voice and be around your whoever is going through this, to, you know, be able to hold them, touch them, or whatever. That's what happens usually before the corona. When you're sick like this, you have family around and they kind of help you and uplift you up, and you can hear them and stuff. And with this case, you just don't see them. It really is the worst way for somebody, you know, to cross. You know what I mean?
No, it's terrible. It's a
just
terrible situation.
Yeah.
And it really brings everything into perspective too, because you know we've been watching on the news, been hearing about it,
Yeah.
like, oh, we didn't know anybody with it, or at least like not
Yeah.
really. I mean, maybe people that we knew of people we knew of people we knew, but like
Yeah.
a close family member like this, it really hits home. So
Definitely.
anyway, guys, one more time, hope and prayers, and that's it. We have you guys in our thoughts as well.
Yeah.
Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and you'll see from us soon.
All right.
Okay.
We'll
Love
see
ya.
you. Love you. Bye.